Good morning. This is Steve, and it's another deceptively cool morning. Or at least it seemed like it about a half hour ago. But it's 73 degrees and 96% humidity. Today's Wednesday. And we're just going out for a little morning run. We had some rain again yesterday. I think we're done with these afternoon showers coming through for a little bit. On Monday, I started a new version of one of my medications, the beta blocker. So instead of taking half a pill morning and evening, I have one pill to take in the evening, and it's supposed to be a slow release, I guess. So I'm wondering how that will affect how I feel later after the morning run. Since what I had been doing was not taking the half in the morning following the run because of the nausea I was feeling. So hopefully this will be a little bit different and better suited. I've got clouds dotting the sky. Nice purple hue. So just running here through the Q-Mart parking lot, doing a 4-minute on, 2-minute off. And I'm not sure how much we'll go for. I was up before 5. Oh, how dark it's gotten. It's a little disturbing. So I thought I better start putting out some really bright colored shirts and reflective gear if I want to get out in the morning out by the roads. Well, I'm going to do a little, they call this in-flight training. Now, in-run editing. So I'm going to choose to turn off the car noise before it gets here. Catch up with you in a little bit. Okay, well, I tried to take the noisy part out. Seems like I've not avoided it yet. So I ran down Hellertown Avenue, up to Heller Avenue, which is where I am now. And Heller Avenue must be a shortcut between two big roads. California Road and 212, which is Hellertown Avenue. That's what I'm thinking. It's a nice looking area. I've been back here before. My intention is to cut through Walnut Bank Farm and pop out at Mill Street. Near the railroad tracks, and then be on my way. So okay, Yardley Court. There's a Yardley, Pennsylvania. So I'm guessing the developer was from Yardley. Alright, well, since this is noisier than I intended, we'll just pause. Pause where we can, at least. Alright, well, let's see. I mentioned the new drug. Instead of metoprolol tartrate, it's metoprolol SUCC something. Anyway, it just means kind of extended release form. So I've been feeling pretty good. I even have ventured out into the yard on warmer afternoons to do, or evenings, to do some lawn mowing now that we've had a regular rain somewhat. The grass has been a little more furtive. So it keeps growing. So I try not to overdo it, but I've been feeling good in doing what I've been doing. So again, we're testing the waters today to see how the new medication goes. So I took a pill last night. Oh, the night before, I guess, and then last night, so it's an evening. I had some other things I was going to talk about, but oh my goodness, they just, like a lot of things these days, just kind of float away. I was trying to listen to one of Jim's podcasts. I think I'm just about caught up with everybody else. Even got in Carlos. I think he put something out yesterday, though, to catch up on. Mr. Carlos Jekyll. The running jackal. So, one thing that's nice is where I first found Carlos was on iHeartRadio. And that will just keep playing episode after episode. So, because Carlos has such a nice cadence, we just, put you to sleep. So, it's a nice little feature of going to bed and just lulling off into sleep with the sounds of the footfalls. hasn't caused me to dream about running. But anyway, it's nice just the same. All right, we reached Walnut Bank Farm. I'm not sure the best thing to do here, whether to just go straight. Don't have my glasses on. I don't want to go by the solar panels. So I'll make a first left. And run down the middle of the street like it's my own. Sounds like Kevin, our friend Kevin Gwynn, is going to be sending me a scoosh band. He heard my podcast on Monday and said, who runs with an extra shirt just to mop up the sweat? You need a scoosh band. So he asked my address, and I think that's why. So maybe somebody can fill me in on the fine art of scoosh band usage. Right now my Fitbit, battery low indicator. It was showing me the time and everything else, but it just stopped. And now only display battery low indicator until I can charge again. I explained to Kevin that in this weather, this humid weather, I'd like to wear a hat because it keeps the sweat from constantly rolling into my eyes. And I forgot to take a hat. But I took a shirt with me because I thought, I'm going to be so hot and sweaty after my run. I want to get back into the car. Because I had driven to the park, and then the drive back, I don't think I want all that sweaty mess. So I took an extra shirt with me. And then I thought, forgot to wear a hat. A drenched sleeve may not be enough, so that's why I took the extra shirt, and it served me well. It also helped wipe away all the cobwebs. So while the early bird gets the worm, the early runner on the trail gets the cobwebs. I've been less than successful at making this a car-free zone, but at least it's not constant. I was listening to a podcast of the Marathon Training Academy the other day. Oops. I'm going to let that car pass. And they had Professor Tim Noakes on from South Africa. And he was talking about what the role the mind plays in running and fatigue. And I said well, yeah, your muscles do get tired, but it's mostly the brain that gets some signal and says, poor me, I'm fatigued, I need to slow down. And he talked about getting in the flow. So elite athletes who just get into the run, and they are not thinking about their body, they are just thinking about how great they are feeling. Oops, I've been running, should have been walking, so switch off here for a minute or two to our walk. So they kind of forget about their bodies and just get in the zone that he called the flow. And I thought, Carlos's glory zone. That's what he's talking about. Carlos's being in the glory zone. And Norm talks about the glory zone. So, I think you've got an adherent, respected research scientist who agrees with your glory zone, only he calls it the flow. And nothing else matters but just enjoying, pushing, aiming for without giving much thought to anything else. So that's what I desire, just a flow, a glory zone. I'm now in a connector walkway trail between the Walnut Bank Farms development. Wasn't even paying attention. Guess I was in the zone, or just oblivious. We'll say oblivious as to whether they were doubles, singles, row homes, I don't know. I think I would say they're twins. So. Fellow trail sojourner. Good morning. I first came upon a rabbit who wanted to run forward. Saw that guy, didn't know what to do. There's a nice trail to the right, so he took it. Along some storage sheds, kind of like the what do you call that, the storage wars, you know, the little garages, sets and sets and sets for storage. Takes up half a block. Kind of aiming for the 4th Street Park today. I think I'll skip it. Just take 4th Street back into town. I'll see what kind of shape I end up with for Suzanne. She likes to she must be really good at identifying cloud shapes. She seems to be really good at identifying route shapes. So my run on Monday was a nuclear bomb from, what was the name of that movie? Dr. Strangelove. Without, is it Perkins? Yeah, anyway. Riding on it, and then somebody else she identified as a cupcake with a cherry on top. So that in itself, my friends, is a challenge. See what kind of she makes out of the shape of your run. Kind of funny. Yeah, Carlos, has she mentioned any good ones for you? I guess an out and back just kind of depends. The shape of the roads. Well, I'm on Mill Street now. Can be a little noisier. Probably after I get past 4th Street. Over the railroad tracks. Past the entrance to 4th Street Park. Morning. Morning. I'll wave at another runner. Opposite side of the road. I'm going to run through the park. It's because it's there. It gives me a little more peace. So keep into the park, cross the bridge, cross Broad Street, the noisy Broad Street, especially this time of day. Heard a clang. Might mean the coffee break is over. $6:46. Okay, heading straight toward the memorials. World Wars I, II, Korea, Vietnam. I'm not sure if they've added any memorials or designations of previous memorials to add the more recent conflicts. I'll have to check it out sometime. Running along, I don't know if they call this Ambassador Park. It's the semi-pro team plays during the summer. A bit of pea gravel. Past the V pavilions. This is at Memorial Park. And then over the bridge. On the connector trail to Broad Street. So I'll probably pause to get off of Broad Street. I'll tell you what my wife is up to today. So we'll catch up in a minute. Alright, we successfully crossed over. So what Margie is up to today is there's a couple at our church that spent several years in Italy. Though they'd only be there part of the year. So where they currently live, I think I described this before, is a place called Schnabel's Woods. And it was originally a bunch of cabins that were leased out, and you could only live there 6 months, a 6-month stretch. So it seemed perfect for them. They would go to Italy from, let's say, December. Actually, I don't know, because I know they have a place in Florida they go to also. Anyway, they'd spend several months in Italy and teach English, hold Bible classes, and different things like that. Well, they retired last year, semi-retired. I think the wife is of retirement age, but Tom is not. Well, Maureen, that's the wife, she is coming over today to show Margie how to make biscotti, Italian style. And from what I understand, it's an all-day endeavor. So I have a meeting with Tom, trying to see if he can help get some steam behind recruiting people on Sunday morning who can help out. Yeah, make people feel welcome, clean up a mess. Good morning. And even provide a little security. So we have 3 entrances on a Sunday morning of access. And 2 of them are largely where everybody comes in. But one, if you're dropping off children, it's kind of out of the way where everybody else comes. So that area doesn't really get watched. And, you know, those people, those folks with children aren't greeted the same way. So we're looking to do a bit of recruitment. All right, just crossed over 6th Street to park in front of Quakertown Community High School. It's funny, we drove by here the other day with Mitchell, and apparently he hasn't been by for a while, and in the last 2 years it's had a major facelift. You're like, that's my high school? Doesn't look anything like it. Looks a bit more modern. Still, yeah, a little bit more modern. Instead of it 60s/70s yellow brick, it now has a block and gray slate bicolored siding that gave the facade a much needed facelift. But his reaction was pretty funny. We still have no social media announcement of Wayne and Rebecca's engagement, which is, I'd say, hey, that's them. They're just not real big social media folks, but we don't want to steal their thunder, secrets. It's not a secret. So we're not sure why there's nothing posted. So we're in the home stretch now to Station Road. First Front Street and then Station Road. Somebody was asking me the other day where Quakertown Borough ends, and it seems that Beaver Creek is the kind of southern border. So where Front turns into Station on one side, and then there's a Main Street. Sorry about that. Didn't expect an 18-wheeler on this road. And then, Main Street Park, just as you come across the bridge from, there's a nursing home, which has changed its name. I can't remember the current name. Quakertown Center or something. On one side of the creek, and then Main Street Skate Park on the other. So if you're looking at a map, you would see that creek, and that's where the border is. So we are on the outside, or outskirts, of Quakertown, and are more appropriately Richland Township. So we're township residents and not the borough. Yeah, left ankle is feeling kind of tired. Not sure why, but when I get to the Q-Mart parking lot, I think I will walk the remainder in, and it's going to give things a rest. A good cool down. The sun is clearly up. It's been out, but it is clearly up now. Starting to peek over the rooftops on Park Avenue. I feel like I've taken my long run midweek this week, instead of waiting till Saturday. Right, obviously I'm more tired. I'm not so talkative, but yeah, let's catch up again in a minute. All right, we reached the ever-loving Q-Mart parking lot, and I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'll stop, take off a left shoe, take off a left sock, stuff in the left shoe, take a right shoe, take a right sock, stuff it in. All right. I'm gonna walk through the Q-Mart parking lot where my feet are happiest, with no shoes. I think it's important when finding shoes that your feet feel happy immediately. But there just is no substitute to no shoes for me. Not feeling the extra height that, you know, when you've got a camber surface and it leans to the left or leans to the right, you've got that extra height in your shoe, ever so little, you know, let's say even 6 millimeters or under. It's still something. And your ankles get tired. I've been battling a swollen right ankle. Not sure what the cause of it is. Maybe too many trail runs? I don't know, or not enough. So it's something I'm working on. It doesn't really bother me while I'm running. A couple of things I'm doing. One is I do try to put some ice on it. Trying to strengthen it, doing some exercises for the ankles and lower leg. And then also wrapping it with like a voodoo band. Could even theoretically use a good long inner tube that's got the stem cut out from a bike. Good stiff. Gives you some good hard compression. All right, well, successful day, about 4.5 miles, I think. Again, for me, that's longer. That's a longer run. We'll keep the clock ticking here till I get home. Let's call it one whole outing, however the pace may be. Skies are a little sunnier, so maybe the clouds we have will break up and we'll have a sunny day. Another good growing day. So the funny thing is, so everything got eaten out of our one garden. I've been kind of abandoned it. But the other garden, I've got 4 hills of watermelon growing. And the deer left that alone. Left the plants alone. So we've got some little globes going right now. The biggest one a couple of days ago was almost the size of a baseball. So best thing to do would be, if we're done with rain for a little bit, is just to keep watering. Not today, maybe tonight, but you know, just to keep the fluids coming so those things can grow and pop in this heat. We've broken from the 90s. Today's only supposed to go up to 88, and we might have another 90-degree day in the next day or two, but then we're heading in for more 80s temperatures instead of 90s. All right, it's been a while since I've walked this distance barefoot, but you know, it's a lot easier to walk barefoot or even run barefoot on not sure what you call it where you are, asphalt, macadam. Macadam seems to be the word out here in the east. I'd never heard it growing up. It's much more forgiving as opposed to concrete. Concrete is rough. It's like running on sandpaper. But asphalt is not. So there's little pebbles. So hopefully, yeah, my feet are taking to this. They're not as tough as they were a few summers ago when I was doing more barefoot running intentionally. This is just a walk. And my ankles are much, much happier on the walk back. Go figure. All right, well, we will part with the sounds of a fish pond. Maybe. Not sure how well you can hear that. Not very well. Okay, we'll just part with bird sounds. Until next time, keep it running.